So get ready for 11.0 leak information reign, as the continent west of Kalimdor has essentially been confirmed for the next expansion. No more speculations, we had just data mined a ridiculous amount of info in the 10.2 PTR, 3 brand new massive books, and keep in mind, these are not flavor books, like literal game changers that have revealed 11.0. We learned that the Emerald Dream isn't Titan, that the Titans are indeed evil, they destroyed a world tree in the past, that the dragon found a continent west beyond the storming sea and established a new dragonflight there. This Beyond the Sea also very likely reads as the new expansion name. We learn about Elune, her connection to the actual Titans, who Azeroth is, also more sea and storm hints that perfectly ties in with this heroic edition that was just leaked. As you may remember, we got the first official 11.0 leak, the Khaz'Algar stormrider. I know, so much information, quite a bit to swallow, so it really looks like we are going into a new continent that lies beyond the storming sea, but there is just so much info that I'm really going to do my best to condense it as much as possible so that you can hear only the juicy bits. If you want to get Dragonflight or anything else Warcraft related, Gamigo has some excellent deals that you can check out with my link below. Best of all, you can get software, gift cards, a bunch of games at below market prices. On top of that, you can also use my code Doron to get yet another discount, so make sure to check out my link below and grab some amazing deals at Gamigo. Finally, after quite a bit of time, there is a ton of new information to unpack. Now, before you get into how I'm talking about how there's new leaks every single video, well, that is really just the way the nature of these hints work. A week ago, we got the Khaz'Algar stormrider. Now we got 3 more huge hints. So it's really just more pieces to the puzzle. And finally, the picture is starting to make sense about what the next expansion is going to be about. We got another addition. We're still missing a few pieces, but the picture is more clear than it ever was. We had just uncovered 3 massive game changer books in the 10.2 PTR that really go hard on the lore. This isn't just flavor text with some vague, super vague foreshadowing like the recent Zelda book we got in 10.1.7. They are all here about confirming some massive previous speculations and essentially just confirming a new continent. So by this point, you can probably already heard about this Elgarian stormrider, but if not, I'm going to cover it in the quickest manner possible because it is super relevant to what has just been discovered, as now we kind of know who this is going to be. So the Elgarian stormrider is the first official, like, actual legit 11.0 leak. This isn't insider information, some forum prediction, AI art. This was literally data mined from the actual World of Warcraft game build. We discovered a line that is related to heroic edition of the new expansion, and it contained this. Keep in mind, this isn't a flavor amount, this is a huge amount of information. Elgarian is 100% related to Khaz'Algar that was previously foreshadowed in Uldaman. Remember, Titan Keeper sent out into this random fissure to fix it, then they abandoned Titan ways, potentially rebelled, and they transformed into dwarves. Interesting enough, they had 0 contact with the dwarves we know, yet they look similar. They developed same mannerisms, same language. They even named their new home Khaz'Algar, which is literally a dwarven name. However, the previous missing piece of the puzzle was why exactly a stormrider? I mean, we know the Elgarian part, Khaz'Algar, but why stormrider? Was this just a fancy name for a griffin rider? Well, we don't need to wonder anymore because this is related to a new continent, and so far we essentially have a confirmation that the new continent is indeed Hidden West. This leads us into the first new data mine book from the 10.2 PTR called The Tragedy of Vinetria, where we learned about a really curious green dragon that explored this place and went missing. Why this is interesting is that now we have an official confirmation that the Titans are 100% hiding something, and there is indeed a hidden continent. This is no longer speculation. You can find the whole document to read in detail, but let me very quickly sum up the most juicy parts. So Vinetria apparently discovered every known corner of Azeroth and got so bored, so she asked Tyr, who was like a father figure to the aspects, what else can I see, because she wants to learn where the winds come from to Azeroth. Then Tyr got all super sus and says, just stay close to home and stay close to your kin, abandon this foolish quest. Beyond the storming sea lies only ruin. However, this green dragon went anyway, and no one has seen her ever since. Even Ysera had awoken from the dream to find her, but no one could do it. However, the rumor is that she did manage to survive and that she formed a brand new dragonflight we are yet to discover that is obviously going to be the transition from the current expansion into 11.0. The book ends with this. Beware the winds from the west, its call holds only doom. If you take wing across storm and sea, you will share Vinetria's doom. Now, do you see the connection between Elgarian Storm Rider and this? Well, it is likely that you need to master the storm in order to be able to access this place that the Titans are hiding, and these Earthen had managed to do just that, turning into stormriders, and we're probably going to learn from them how to access it as well. This ties in with the old god hints from the Deathwing's library that talked about how the Titans hid something beyond the waves on purpose. They're purposefully being ignorant about it. Now the puzzle pieces perfectly fall into place. Troll as a lead character on the BlizzCon out is making more sense than ever. Remember, he is a world shaman. The pirate that managed to reach his continent west also makes sense. So on this new continent, we should expect to discover a brand new green dragonflight, brand new dwarves, as well as something else that now leads perfectly into the two other remaining books that we're going to cover right now. So we got a book called The Legend of Elun'aria, where we also get lore bombs. Once again, I'm going to sum it up as quickly as possible. I'm not going to delve into great detail, as this can really be a video in itself. So we learned that apparently Eonar and Elune had a really strong connection, even calling each other great love. Eonar, the Titan, was given a branch of Ganir in order to create the very first world tree on Azeroth, this super ancient world tree. She named it Elun'aria in honor of Elune, and then Amantul, the lead Titan guy, came in and was disgusted by it. He said it had nothing to do with orders, so he just ripped out the tree just like how he ripped Yasharaj in the past. He left a huge crater, but the roots of the tree were intact. Eonar's tears over this were powerful, they fueled it, and unknown guardians came to this place. This is almost certainly related to this new continent and might be what is causing this storm and why this continent is hidden. This could be this Khaz'Algar fissure that the Earthen were sent to fix, but they probably turn into these unknown guardians as they also realize that the Titans are corrupt. And no, the Titans ban is no longer a speculation. I mean, they literally just confirmed in the book that the Titans ripped out a world tree because it went against their order. And no, this was not a Titan keeper that had his own will, went against the Pantheon. This was literally the main Titan guy, the lead guy. So if you wonder whether the Titans are bad, they're probably going to become super hostile towards us quite soon. However, the rabbit hole goes even deeper, and now we are getting into how not only is 10.2 probably going to actually be the final patch, but how we will transition from Dragonflight into the next expansion. So the last book is called On the Nature of the Dream, and here we start learning some crazy things as well. The summary is, we learn that the Emerald Dream is in fact not a Titan creation as was said by the Chronicle, which is yet another speculation that has been confirmed. We also learned that it isn't the framework or the blueprint for life on Azeroth as was also said by the Titans. We learn that the dream isn't bound to just Azeroth but to realms we are yet to discover. Apparently the dream flows into the realm of life at the edges, and this ties in with the recent Elune hints and how close the Titan Eonar and Elune are. If you may remember from Shadowlands, Elune was said to be a life Titan, and we might just be seeing her soon. Once again, the Titans path continues, and we learn that they want the dream to stay unchanged by any hand other than theirs, and that the Titans don't understand that life and death are sisters, and this makes perfect sense because a murder seal is coming from other builds, so the obvious connection is there. Now, connect this Emerald Dream and the fact that Dragonflight is probably ending within the Emerald Dream, and that we're going to discover the new roots from Elun'aria probably on this new continent, which could be Avaloran, and this crater could be Khaz'Algar as well. This could really be our way into this continent. However, other than these hints they dropped, potentially the largest hint that has really gone under the radar, the dragon writing says that just how they were touched by all forces, like the dragons themselves, implying they were touched by life, death, order, everything that influences Azeroth, so could Azeroth be a mix. But then the dragon ponders, what if that is not the case, and what if Azeroth is actually the source of everything instead? This is super vague at the moment, but it ties in with those first one hints, and that Azeroth isn't really a world soul, and that she could be what is holding the universe together, and huge things could be happening to Azeroth in the very near future. So to quickly sum it up, we almost certainly are going to go to a new continent, probably west of Kalimdor in 11.0. There is a huge storm here that these dwarves probably managed to conquer, which is why they turned into stormriders. Troll is probably going to be super influential as a shaman. The Titans are almost certainly going to be enemies, and knowing that the new 6 dragon aspects with Viranaut are going to be empowered by life instead of Titans, the dragons are going to rebel against Tyr and the Titan Order. It is also likely that Tyr is going to turn into a bad guy as well, and could even be a final boss in a mini patch in Dragonflight. We will also discover new green dragons on this continent. So right now we have more information than ever, and we're only missing a few puzzle pieces to tie in what 11 7.0 is going to be about. Thank you for watching. Check out his Wild Lore Lost Its Magic by clicking on the screen, and also check out my video on Slavic pirates and Vikings on my second channel by also clicking on the screen. See you next time.